Blockly. I use Blockly quite frequently to describe the basic concepts of programming, and to be honest, I find it even fun and it's also fun for people who are already experienced. You can think of Blockly as of Lego for domain of programming. So far we have seen models which are not giving back any results because they are either written on a paper, in some kind of diagram, and mostly we have seen so far very static descriptions. While Blockly can be very interactive, and by using Blockly we can not just model the system, but we can also see how it behaves. However, Blockly is used only for academical purposes, because it is not something that you want to use for official modeling and distributing. Blockly is, I think, available since 2013. It's on the market for quite some time. It's an open source and application, and it's developed by Google. And you see here how basically it looks. I will show you now example that I'm using for course purposes. So this is the Blockly, and if you can see on the left side there are different blocks you can use. These blocks corresponds to, let's say, pseudocode structures we mentioned before. And here on the right side, this is the diagram pane, where we can panel where we can just design our solutions. Let me demonstrate it a bit. So let's say, for example, that I want to print, for example, let's go to text, and I will say print, and I will create here a variable. I will say my text, and then I will put this variable here. I will set this variable to some value. Yeah, this is a value, and this value will be test. Yeah, and then I will print here variable I just created. It's called my text. I will just put it here, and then when I click here play button, I see test. Yeah, this is what I put here. I'll put test 1 2 3, and then when I run, I see test 1 2 3. Basically, as you can see, there are multiple ways to input the values. So I will use, for example, something like this. Please add a value. Now, what I'm doing is, I think you can see. You see? So basically, what I did in this setup, I'm setting the my text variable to a value of text type, which will be prompted with this text when I press the play button, and what I type in will be associated to my text variable, and in the next step it will be printed. So again, you see, when I click, I see this please add value. When I click, this is please add value, which I used here. I will say, for example, this is my value. Now this will be allocated to my text variable, and when I click OK, it will be printed. This, you see, this is my value is printed. So basically, this is an example of a simple flow where I input the text and just print the text. And what is important with the Blockly is that, like with the puzzles or Lego or what, these let's say the sockets are fitting uh, uh, based on the compatibility between these blocks. So, for example, I can also do it like this. I can remove this, so I can directly print what I prompt. The result should be the same. Look, I will be asked. I will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I expect to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I click OK. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So basically, we can now play with this, and or even simulate complex algorithms if you want this. Let's go to the loops, for example, and there are multiple loops. We have a for loop, we have repeat while loop. Yeah, there is also, we have seen repeat until and while, like in pseudocode. But what I will do right now, I will just do this one, repeat 10 times, and I will basically go to the text. I will say print, yeah, and I will just print hello. Let's put it 2 times. So I want to print 2 times hello. Hello one time first, second, done. So this is a simple loop. Also, if you click here in the language tabs, you can see how different language are used to describe this block diagram. So basically we are translating this block diagram to different languages. In this case, this is a JavaScript loop. You see it looks a bit different in Python, but this is very interesting to play with and to learn the concepts of programming. So if you remember the pseudocode or algorithms, but especially pseudocodes, we can nicely convert the pseudocode in a Blockly diagram and then even execute it and see the results of our execution. Let's get back a bit more to explain what blocks we have. So, like I said, in the logic section we have an if condition, and then we can compare. You see, there is an if condition, and then we can compare left and right sides. Here we can put the variables and then see what's the relation between these variables. Then within the logic, we have a not operator, we have different conditional blocks. Then we also have seen the loops where we have repeat n times. It's like the for loop from within the interval. Then we have seen this block. It's while or repeat until loop. There are like this is the for loop which can iterate through the elements in the list. Then there is a math section. There are some mathematical operation present. You see the trigonometric functions, mathematical, and basically we have also random function here where we can get random integer from specific interval. I will demonstrate to you in a second. So let's print and then say random number between 1 and 100, and when I play, now I get 6. I play once again, I get 97. Play once again, 4, and so on and so on. And then we have the text section, some operations with the texts. For example, length of a string, testing if the string is empty, print used also to print the value in a pop-up window. We can also create lists with the elements, and determine the length of the list, check if the list is empty, check if the elements are at specific position within the list, and so on, so on. This color I don't use, but it's just used to set the different color and manipulation with colors, but we don't use it. And then also variables. We can create a variable which is used in our application, let's call it Blockly application. And also there are functions, if you remember, of sub-processes, or we mentioned in algorithms and also in pseudocode. These functions are equivalent to these sub-processes. Basically, we will pay more attention on Blockly in a separate exercises and then examples.